yoga for you all. Since we're at home and practicing social distancing, it can be very hard and challenging to maintain a normal routine and rhythm during these times, but all you can do is the best you can do. And this practice should be available to you anytime you'd want to do it, should you be interested. So with that said, you can start this practice inbound angle, so the soles of the feet are coming together here. You can bring the feet in as close or as far away as you'd like, depending on comfort. And you can also put 2 blocks underneath the knees if it begins to be too much. If this also just doesn't really feel good to you, you can stack the legs on top of each other, feet to knee. This might feel good. You may want to switch position there so you can get a stretch on both sides. You can also just sit in any comfortable cross-legged position, or you can come to an easy seat with one foot, the heel kind of pressed in to your groin, and then with the other foot coming in front. So just find some sort of comfortable seat. And you can close your eyes, begin to settle in. Then just scan through your day. Take notice of the events that transpired, but don't get too attached to what you find. Just give yourself a second to arrive here to this spot, to this moment. And you may be interrupted if you're doing this at home, and that's A-okay. Just know you can come back to this at any time, at any moment, and any bit that you do is better than none at all. You can also just do a quick scan of your physical body. Just noticing any aches or pains. And then just pay attention to them and notice them throughout the practice. And don't do anything that would put your body in any sort of harm. And then you can take your attention inward to your breath. You don't have to change it just yet. Just notice its cadence and quality and how nourishing it is on each inhale and exhale. Maybe noticing the rise and the fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. If you would like, you can certainly practice Ujjayi breathing, making a little constriction in the back of the throat on your inhales and your exhales. It can help you to elongate your breathing, which has been proven to provide a world of good and so many benefits to not only your physical, but your mental body as well. And then when you're ready to move, we'll just shift into cow face pose. So let me creep out while I'm back in the shadow a little more there. So you can put your right leg flat on the mat, and then you can just let that left leg come over. Your foot might rest on the mat, and this is where you are, and that's fine. You can also kind of shift the hips around, and the feet maybe just lay on the mat, just as they are. And then this is a nice stretch for the left hip here, back into the glute. You can stay up with this. You may bring your weight a little more forward. You can also do some arm stretching here if you'd like. So you can maybe drop your left arm over and grab on to that left elbow with the right hand. Or I guess to keep it even, you might want to do your right arm. Since your left leg's over top, you can stretch your right elbow or your right tricep here. You can also grab hands if that's something that feels good to you. And you can use a strap here too, holding on to the strap between two hands. I'm just noticing a nice stretch here for the arms. You also don't have to do shoulder or tricep stretching at all. You can just let your arms hang. We won't stay here super long, so when you're ready, you can switch the legs. So the left leg will be your grounded leg, and then your right will come over top. And then just noticing, like, my legs don't sit the same, both sides, and that's okay. It doesn't really mean anything about me at all as a human. I'm still, me. So you can bring the arms up if you like. And then this time you can let that left arm bend back, and you can hold on to the elbow with the right hand. Or you can keep the left elbow up, and then you can try to reach fingertips here, do that stretch. And if you're in one place and it feels good and then it just doesn't, you can certainly let go of that and just come back to another. Don't ever stay somewhere that doesn't feel good and nourishing to your body. And then we can let go of that. And then you can uncross your legs. You can just come to this little seated position with soles of feet on the mat. And then you can cross your legs again at the ankles. It doesn't matter where. And then you can let the arms come up, and you're into this kind of cross-legged boat here. So in boat, you just want to make sure your chest isn't kind of slumped and rounding. You want to make sure you're nice and straight. So you can always grab hold of the backs of the thighs. The arms can come out. And then you can kind of, if you want, bring the hands behind the head, and you can do this lowering kind of cross-legged boat kind of crunch here. And then let it come down whenever you feel like it. Let the neck and the head hang. Maybe moving the head and the neck side to side. And then when you feel ready, you can come up and maybe crossing the legs the other way this time. You can bring the hands to the head. You can first stay here in your boat, and you can stay here the whole time if you would like. But if you want, you can lower, back up. One more. Whoo, let go of that. Whoo. If you're shaking, you did it right. So you can let the neck and the head hang here. And then we'll just lay back, actually, and we'll do a little bit of an abernome here. So you'll lay back, and you can let the legs come up, and then it might be nice here to just imagine you're standing on the ceiling for a moment. So the toes are nice and flexed. And then when you're ready, on your next breath, always making sure you can breathe comfortably no matter where you're at. You can drop the legs kind of over to about a 45-degree angle. Trying to keep as much of the low back on the mat as you can. Then when you're ready on your next breath, you can come back up. On your next breath, you can shift the legs over to the right. The lower you go, of course, the more strength you'll be using. Next breath, you can come back up, over to the left. Next breath back up. And we'll do one more. Over to the right. Next breath back up. And then you can bring the knees into the chest for a moment. Maybe rolling out the ankles here. And then when you're ready, you can just kind of do a quick little roll back up to seated. And then we'll just come into a reverse tabletop and just do a few little kind of crunches here. So your reverse tabletop, your fingers will be pointed towards your toes, toward your feet. On an inhale and an exhale, you can just lift up. You can continue to look up, or you can let the head drop back. When I let the head drop back, I notice a nice little stretch in the tops of my shoulders. So kind of the move we're going to do here, you'll want to let the belly or the booty drop down a little bit. So with control, you'll lift the right arm, left leg. You'll touch, let them back in. Left to right, right to left. And then you can do this as many times as you want to or don't want to. But with control, that's the key. I think I'm done here. Maybe one last moment in this tabletop. And then I'll drop, and you can let that bottom come back down, and you can sit. So you can come into a squat here if you like. You can also try to stay in this tabletop here, and maybe scooting the feet toward the edge of the mat, toes pointing out. Then you can let your bottom kind of come down toward the mat, pushing up on the toes and coming into your squat that way. This can be a nice little hip opener here for you if you like, by pushing the elbows out toward the knees. And you just want to make sure you're sitting up. You don't want to be kind of rounding and trying to stay up here. So taking the feet a little wider apart can help you have more stability and stay up. And then when you're ready, you can try, if you can, don't force it, but without putting your hands back down on the ground, to just push up and come to standing. How nice. So now we'll just start a little bit of movement here. You can bring the hands down to the sides in mountain pose here to start. On an exhale, you can come into your forward fold here. You can bring the feet apart a little ways. They don't have to be kind of touching right on top of each other. Let the neck and the head hang here. On your next inhale, we'll come to a halfway lift, whether that's hands on the shins or the fingertips to the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up, overhead, extend the mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up, overhead, extend the mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up, overhead, extend the mountain, reaching nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up, overhead, extend the mountain. And then as you exhale this time, you bring the hands together and then lower the hands to heart center. When you're ready, we'll inhale the arms up, overhead, extend the mountain. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale to a halfway lift. Then when you're ready, you can exhale back to that forward fold. When you're ready, you can inhale and step back to plank. So we're in this high plank here. So let's lower down onto our forearms. How fun. So you're here in this forearm plank. You've got a lot of kind of weight in the forearms here. So if you want, you can try here, taking a leg out to the left, right leg out to the right, left leg to the left, right leg to the right. Maybe one more time for good measure, maybe not. And then when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. So you can inhale here to cobra or to up dog. And then exhale to down dog. We'll inhale up on the toes. As you exhale, you can step or walk to come up to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back to that forward fold. Inhale and step back to plank. Guess what? Forearm plank coming again. So you can lower down. And then once again, you can stay here, or you can try moving those legs out to the side with control. And then you can exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. And then we'll inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. Inhale up on the toes. As you exhale, you can step or walk to come to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale the hands to heart center. And then this time we'll come just to mountain pose again. So arms are out to the side, everything is nice and engaged here. And then now we just did 2 quick sun salutations. So maybe just take a breath, a moment, and just begin to notice how you feel after building a little bit of heat, having a little bit of movement. And then when you feel ready to move again, you can inhale the arms up and sit the hips back to chair. So if you're in chair, you can have the weight a little more through the back of your feet. You should be able to pick up your toes, wiggle them a little bit. And then just make sure you're not arching, dipping the back. You can kind of pull the ribs in, and that gives you such nice alignment. When you're ready, you can exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale back to that forward fold. We'll inhale, step back to plank. And then when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. Then inhale to cobra or up dog. Then exhale to down dog. Inhale the right leg up. As you exhale, you can step that right foot through to the hands, but don't drop the back knee. We're going to set up for warrior 1 here. So when you're ready, you can inhale, the arms coming up. Next breath, we'll shift to warrior 2. Just here in this warrior 2, making sure this knee isn't dropping in too much to the middle. Kind of go, hey, let's take it back a step. Looking out over the arms. If you'd like, you feel like you need a little more energy, you can turn the palms open if you like. Next breath, you can straighten that front leg, and then we're going to tilt to triangle. You may have to hop your back foot in just a smidge, maybe not. So just tip over, letting the hand come to the shin, maybe down to the inside of the leg or to the outside. You can also take an extended triangle by grabbing your big toe with your peace fingers. And you can look up the hand or you can look down. But just wherever you're at, you just want to make sure you're not collapsing that top shoulder over too much. And you also don't want to be putting too much weight into this right hand. If you've got it on the shin or on the mat, you should be able to just pick it up. Because we're going to imagine that we are here in this lovely triangle. And we're here minding our own business and we're stretching, but then someone decides to throw us this really big beach ball. So you have to lift this right leg and go, oh, I've got it, this big beach ball. On your next breath, you'll shift up, still holding your beach ball. Then back, then up, back over to your triangle, but you're still holding onto this beach ball. Back up, reverse it, back up, back over to your triangle. You love this beach ball so much for some reason. Back up one more time, and then back over to your triangle. And then you can let go of it. Forget it. We actually don't like it that much. On your next breath, you can kind of twist over, let that left hand come to the mat, come up on the ball, that back left foot. When you're ready, we'll inhale and step back to plank. When you're ready, you can just stay here, maybe lifting the right leg up, the left leg up, right leg up, left leg up. Then when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. Then when you're ready, we'll inhale your left leg up. As you exhale, left foot comes through to the hands. We're setting up for that warrior one again. So dropping the back foot. When you're ready, you can inhale and come up, making any adjustments that you may need. Breathing here nice and smooth. On your next breath, we'll shift to warrior two again. And then just checking in with that knee, making sure it's not dipping into the middle too much. Feeling nice and strong, looking out over your fingertips here. On your next breath, you can straighten that front leg, and then we'll tilt over to triangle. Remember, you can scoot that back leg in a smidge if you feel like you need it. And then that hand can be placed on the shin, the inside, or the outside of the leg. And it can come to a block, certainly. And then maybe you do a quick practice here, lifting that bottom hand up. Because guess what? Gosh, here comes the beach ball again. So you can lift that left arm out. Next breath, come up, back, back up, back over, back up, leaning back, back up to standing, tilting back over, back up one more time, and then back over to your triangle, and then forget you ball, we're done. So you can bring that left hand down to the mat, kind of curling over here, up into that high lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale and step back to plank. And we're here in this high plank, so let's just try doing right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow, right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow. Maybe one more time. Right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow. And then when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. And we'll just take a few breaths here to rest. Don't say I never did anything nice for you. My jokes go over so much better when there's a class full of people to laugh at them. When you're ready on your next inhale, you can step up onto your toes. As you exhale, you can step or walk or hop to come up to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up, sit the hips back to chair. And then once again, just do all of those little adjustments, kind of make sure what you're doing here And try not to have the shoulders kind of up in the ears. You can kind of roll everything back and down. And then next breath, come back to mountain pose. Whew. Yeah, that was 7, folks. But in a good way. When you're ready on your next breath, you can bring your hands to heart center. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, the hands come to the mat. You can step your right leg behind you, lower your right knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, the hands back down to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale and step back to plank. Then when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. We'll inhale just to cobra here. Exhale, lower down to the mat. We'll inhale and push up to plank. And then let's do a side plank here. So let's do a right side plank. Whether you've got the feet stacked or fanned, a foot in front, it's all good. You can look up. Maybe you try to bring the foot in. Then when you're ready, you can come back to your standard plank and then exhale to down dog. We'll inhale the right leg up behind. As you exhale, step that right foot through to the hands. Lower your left knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale. Step your left foot up to your right to come to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Then exhale the hands to heart center. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Step your left leg behind you. Lower your left knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step back to plank. When you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. We'll inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower back down to the mat. Inhale to plank. And then we'll do that left side plank here. Maybe you try lifting that right leg up. Pushing up through the hips. Next breath, back to your standard plank. And then exhale back to down dog. When you're ready, you can inhale your left leg up behind you. As you exhale, left foot comes through to the hands. Lower your right knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale. Step your right foot up to your left. Come to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Then exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Step your right leg behind you. Lower your right knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale, either bring the hands to heart center, or to the knee, or to the mat. We're going to curl the back toes. And then we're going to lift up and come to a crescent lunge here. On your next breath, we'll shift forward to a warrior three. So you can either hop in, take a step in, and then shift forward, or you can just kind of launch, spread your wings and fly to your crescent, or to your warrior three. With grace, we'll sit that back foot down. You can come back to this crescent lunge. Lower the right knee down, but then step back up to crescent, back to your warrior three, back to your crescent lunge, lower that right knee, back up to crescent, back to your warrior three, but this time, arms are out, knee to arm, knee comes in, back out, maybe one more, knee in, back out, back to your crescent, woo, doggy. And then exhale, lower that right knee down. Hands come down the mat. We'll inhale, step back to plank. When you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. Inhale just to cobra here. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Let's let the arms come down along the sides here. We'll just come to a locust pose. So in locust, the legs, the arms, and the chest are all lifted. So on an inhale or an exhale, when you're ready, you can lift, coming up, and breathing here. Exhale, lower down to the mat. You can bring your hands back under your shoulders. When you're ready, we'll inhale, push up to plank. Then exhale to down dog. When you're ready, you can inhale that right leg up behind you. As you exhale, right foot sweeps through to the hands. Lower your left knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. When you're ready, we'll inhale. Step your left foot up to your right for your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale the hands to heart center. That was so much fun. Let's do it again on the other side, yeah? So when you're ready, you can inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let the hands come to the mat. Step your left leg behind you. Lower your left knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. And then you can exhale. Remember, the hands can come to heart center, the knee or the mat. Curl the back toes. We're going to inhale. Step up to plank. On your next breath, we'll shift forward to your warrior three. Back to crescent. Left knee to the mat. Back up to crescent. Shift forward to your warrior three. Back to crescent. Left knee to the mat. Back up to crescent. To warrior three. This time try to keep the arms out front. Knee to elbows. Back out. Knee to elbows. Back out. Back to crescent. And then you can lower that left knee to the mat. Hands can come to the mat. Inhale and step back to plank. When you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. Inhale to cobra. And then we'll exhale back down to the mat. Arms can come back down to the sides. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale or exhale and come up to locust. exhale, lowering down to the mat. Hands can come back under the shoulders. And then when you're ready, you can inhale and push up to plank. And then exhale, hips to down dog. Inhale the left leg up behind you. As you exhale, left foot comes through to the hands. Lower your right knee to the mat for the lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step your right leg up to your left for your halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Then we'll inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, the hands toward center. So, I usually in class give you all free time if you have an inversion or something you're working on, a crow or something like that. So have at it. I also am a fan of doing balancing. So I'll just show you a little bit of a balancing kind of sequence that might be fun to do. And as I always offer in class, you can do all, some, or none. If you've got something else other than what I present, have at it, do your thing. But also, if you're, into what I'm offering, then very cool. Because, the Warrior 3 crescent sequence wasn't enough balance, so we're just going to do a little more. That's all. So, for this evening, I have got us, I'm trying to think which way I want to stand. Okay, so we'll start in an eagle pose here. So we can start with the right leg as kind of your firm, sturdy, grounded leg. And then you can cross over. The toes might kickstand. I can't really wrap clear around, but I do the best I can. The arms can come out to a T. If you want, you can do the eagle arms, and you can cross your right arm over your left here. So this may be enough balance for you, and that's cool because let me tell you, it's tricky. You can also do like a crouching eagle thing here. You can bring the elbows down to the knees and come back up. So you can stay here as long as you like. This could be the one thing you do. Very cool. You can also step out to a goddess squat. So here, we're not like dipping the back out, kind of make sure the core is engaged. Arms are nice and strong here. So this really isn't a balancing pose, but boy, is it a quad burner. And if you want, you can have some movement here. You can inhale kind of coming up, maybe even clear out to a star. You can exhale back. And then for the next kind of step here, you'll just transition over to a half moon. So for half moon, the arm isn't directly under the shoulder. If you bring it out a little ways, that helps. Really flexing and engaging the back foot and those toes. And then just going toward kind of stacked hips. You don't want them kind of like Warrior 3 hips where they're over. You're kind of going toward a stacking motion. And then looking up here really makes it hard, so just try not to do that. And then you can also, if you really want to try to challenge yourself, you can try to pick up that right arm, bring it to the chest. Yeah, so that's it for one side. So you can take a break. You can continue to try to work with those things if you want. You can also come to your eagle pose on the other side if you're ready. So left side, left leg is our sturdy leg. You can cross around with the right, arms coming out. And then here, as far as the arms go, if you want to cross them, you can bring right over left, and maybe you'll fall a million times. But I want you to smile, because regardless of whether you can do eagle pose or goddess pose or half moon pose, you're still a really cool person. And balancing doesn't really mean anything about like who you really are, so it's cool, it's fun. You can try that crouching thing if you like. Coming back up. And then when you're ready, you can can step out to your goddess. And then remembering here that you can move a little bit if you like, even shifting maybe one side and the other. Woo! Or you might fall back if you move too much. And then we'll try half moon on the left side here. So you can just kind of push off and reach out and see what happens here. And you can bring this hand to a block, of course. And the right arm, the top arm here doesn't have to come up. You could keep it on your hips if you really wanted to. Then you can try bringing that left hand. And then maybe you come back because you're done with it. And then, like I said, you can pause me, of course, if you want to work on any sort of arm balances or inversions, anything you've got going on. If you want, you can try a crow real quick. Some folks can get into crow from this squat down here, and then they'll just kind of hook the arms on either side of the hips and then shift forward. For me, it can happen, but it's not my favorite way to get in. I am a fan of almost being in a forward fold and then just trying to put my hips almost up in my armpits, just really high up on my arms, and then leaning forward. And then just slowly letting everything come up. The core is really engaged. I'm not looking straight down. Yeah. So that's a nice kind of intro level arm balance to work on. So if you're ready to pull it on down, take it down a little bit, you can come to a child's pose. So for your child's pose, you can keep knees together, walk the arms maybe out away from you. You can also, in this variation, let the arms rest down by the sides. You can also here, like rest your forearms on the mat, and then kind of stack forearms here, and just rest the head on your forearms if that feels good. You can also, for a little more of a hip stretch, you can open the knees out to the sides of your mat, and then you can walk the hands forward, and then you can rest on the mat. You can certainly stay in child's pose for as long as you like, but if you want to do something else, then you can come into a tabletop and then just move through some cat-cows at your own pace with your own breath. So as you inhale, belly will drop down toward the mat, and then the head can tilt up slightly. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin can come toward the chest here. And then, like I said, just moving through at your own pace with your own breath. You can make these movements as long or as fast, slow, whatever as you like. And if you find one of these that you really want to stay in and breathe for a while, you certainly can do that. Then you can continue to take this motion if you like, but also something that might feel good for the abs, just a little stretch. You can walk the knees back a little bit and then just slowly lower down onto your stomach. And then come up onto the forearms here, but your belly still is on the mat, but the forearms are just kind of locked down. The elbows are in rather than pointing out. And this is called Sphinx pose here. So sometimes I like to give myself a little traction here. The hands are grounded, and I almost try to act like I'm trying to pull myself forward, and that gives you a little bit of traction here. You can let the head come up a little bit. You don't have to like crank it clear up. And then if this does not feel good on your low back and the feet are together, you can try taking your feet toward the edges of your mat, and that just may feel a little better. And this might not feel good at all. In this case, don't do it. You can just take a nice little rest on your stomach by stacking the forearms on top of each other, if you'd like. So if you want here to move to your back, you certainly can. So you can just kind of roll on over and just situate yourself here. And never a bad idea to do a little bridge or a wheel. So whatever feels good to you. Bridge pose, the soles of the feet are on the mat. And then palms are down, the arms are along the sides of the body. You can inhale or exhale and just slowly kind of lifting, pushing the hips up. You can try to clasp the hands under the arms and then walk up on the shoulders a little bit. You can try lifting one leg here, then the other. You can also, you can lower down, of course, whenever you like, and you can keep playing around with your bridge. You can also do a wheel here. So arms come up by the shoulders, the hands do, and then when you're ready on an inhale or an exhale, you just lift and kind of push up. You can stay there as long as you like. Just take care when coming down to make sure that the neck is kind of lifted back up out of the way. So once you've done that little bit of back bending, bringing the knees into the chest, and Apanasana, this might feel very good to you. You can kind of roll the knees around in circles one way, and then you can roll them around in the other direction. You can also take a happy baby here. So knees dropping toward the outsides of the body. You can grab on to the outsides of the feet here, and you can stay still, or you can have a little bit of motion, maybe rocking side to side. You can also here just take the simple inversion. Legs can go up the wall if you like and have that available, or you can just let the feet kind of stand up. If you've got shoulder stand in your practice, you could certainly do that now as well. And then there's never anything wrong with a little supine twist here while you're on your back. So you can kind of shift your hips to the left side of your mat. You can bring the arms out to a T. I like my palms down. Bring the knees into the chest, and then you can let the knees drop over to the right, and you can look toward the left here. You can bring the palms up if that feels good to you. You can also keep them down on the mat. On your next breath, you can bring the knees back to center, maybe evening the hips back out. And then you can even shift them over to the right, and then you can drop the knees over to the left. And then once again, you can look to the right. And on your next breath, you can bring the hips back to center. And then you can get ready for your Shavasana. So here you just want to pick a nice supported spot on your mat. Legs can be and arms can be out as far or as wide as you want them. You could rest the palms on the belly if you'd like. You could take your legs up the wall for your Shavasana if you really wanted to. And then you can put a rolled up blanket under the neck for support, or a blanket under the head. You could put a blanket or a bolster or a pillow under your knees. You just want to find a position here where you're really comfortable and feel really supported by the ground so that you can really be able to lay still for an extended period of time. Also taking care and doing a scan of the body to make sure that you're not holding on to any tension anywhere. So sometimes tensing a body part, making fists and then letting them go is a good way to know that you've released all of that tension. The face holds on to a lot of tension, and especially the mouth. So sometimes parting the lips slightly and making sure the tongue isn't pressed up into the roof of the mouth is also helpful for relaxation here. And just breathe here. If you were doing that Ujjayi breathing or any breathing in any particular way, you can let go of that and just let the breath fall and rise naturally. If your mind starts to wander to anywhere else other than this moment right here, you can always come back to your breath and just watch it. Notice your belly moving, or even repeating inhale as you breathe in and exhale as you breathe out. as you lay here, maybe you begin to reflect on the good things that are happening in your life right now. Maybe having a short list of the things that you're grateful for. It may be short and it may be long. And then just allowing each thing that you're grateful for, that feeling of gratitude, to just build and well up inside of your body. And then maybe you let the joy and the happiness of the things that you're grateful for, you send that joy and happiness to your loved ones, to your pets, to your friends, to people you don't know so well, but that you interact with, coworkers, delivery men, personnel in Walmart, grocery stores, even to those people that you have trouble engaging with and interacting with and spending time with. Send your joy and happiness to all beings everywhere. Maybe while you're at it, you wish all beings everywhere good health and wellness, safety. And just keep letting this feeling just well out. And then maybe you slowly allow your inhales to become slightly longer than your exhales. And you bring your attention back to the shape of your body, lying here on your mat, the temperature of the air on your skin. And then you can slowly move in any way that you like to begin to wake the body up, bring movement back in. When you feel ready with a nice deep inhale, you can roll to one side of your choosing, taking a longer, deeper exhale once you make your way there. And then when you feel ready, I invite you to join me in a comfortable seated position. You can bring the hands to heart center if you like. You can leave the eyes open, or you can take the gaze down and close the eyes. I sending each and every one of you well wishes of health and strength, and that we can still continue to have community and fellowship with others despite doing our best to distance ourselves from others in this time. May you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you live with ease. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.